Right, good news. Back in the shop on the electric power steering for the 48 Chevy truck. Good news is I got part of my electrical stuff I've been waiting on. I needed this connector, and it came with 2 spades to hook to my own wires. So my blue is going to be my positive, white will be my negative. So I'm still waiting on the little connector for here that comes with some magical stuff to help make this work. Then I have gotten my other part in that I was waiting on to make this part work. If you remember, I couldn't find any splines, any connector with the right amount of splines or the right size. So I got this little dude. It is 3/4 inch smooth to 3/4 inch double D. And what we are going to do, this is the other part of my steering column shaft that goes to the steering wheel, and it needs to connect here. So what we've got is we will take this smooth side of this connector, and I will drill this out and put a bolt all the way through the connector and the shaft itself on this end. And then the double D end, what we will do, I don't know if you can tell in there, that's flat on 2 sides. So we are going to grind this shaft into a 3/4 inch double D shaft. So then this will be able to slide on. I can put little dimples in to where the set screws can set in and snug in. And then that should keep it from spinning this way and should be able to keep it from coming out this way. So, a couple people were concerned that this was a hardened shaft and that welding on this shaft would cause it to be brittle and it might break. And you know, there's a good possibility that could happen. So, I came up with this other idea this way. We don't have to get the shaft super hot. I can grind it flat, and make a 3/4 inch double D shaft out of it. And I think that'll work there. Then we've got our connector at this end, and this will go to the gearbox on the truck. I will probably drill a hole through here and pin it like I'm going to do on the other end. This is weldable, but there again, I don't want to get these little dudes super hot. So I'm probably going to drill it and pin it. And then I will either, on the other end, I don't know for sure, I'm going to need another U-joint piece. And I'll either drill and pin it as well, or I could smooth the shaft down and make a 3/4 inch double D shaft out of it. Haven't made up my mind there. The main thing is I'm trying to get the inside done, and then I will move to the outside. So, plan for today is we are going to work on getting this shaft here smoothed down on 2 sides so I can get this to fit in there. So let me do some grinding here for a little while and test fitting, and I'll bring you back when I get her done up. Alright, got the shaft flattened a little bit on both sides, and I've got my nifty little coupler here. It just does start on there, and I don't want it sloppy, I want it to be tight. So I think I'm going to see about if I can give it a few little love taps with a hammer and get it to drive on down on there. So give me just a second. Alright, I have managed to get my coupler down on this shaft. I took the flap disc of the angle grinder and I flattened 2 sides of this shaft so this double D coupler would fit on there. And I can also tell you, by the way, the jaws of the vise mangled up the splines, this is not a hardened shaft. That has got to be a soft shaft the way it sheared those splines, which I don't need those splines anyway. Let me see if I can get a light. Kind of hard to see down in there. But that sets up on there almost as far as it would go anyway. But I can tell you right now, with as much force as I hammered that on there with, it's not coming off. But I'm still going to put my little set screws in. And then this is the shaft that goes to the steering wheel. It will go in here like so. We're going to drill a hole through, put a pin in, put a bolt in, something. And then that will be the sum total of the steering column for the inside. And then this is the actual column itself. It still slides over and it will bolt down on there like so. So I think should have plenty of room. I think it's going to work out good. So let me get my set screws put in there, and then I'll work on getting things set up. Oh yeah, the shop got a new little tool. It's just a Harbor Freight central machinery little drill press if I can talk. I didn't need anything very big for what we're doing right now. This thing was like 90 bucks, $95 after tax, and it should work just fine. It's I think it's an 8-inch throat, and then it's got 5 different speeds. Pretty nice little setup. So I'm going to work on getting my set screws in over there, and we'll get things set up to where I can try and drill through that other side of that coupler. Right, managed to get the hole drilled through for now. Just did a little small one. I'm not sure 100% what I'm going to do there. But even just drilling the hole through is pin that in a little bit. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to put a hardened bolt through, which I think that's where I'm going to lead to. So I may have to get a little bigger hole and put a hardened bolt through there, because I'd like to be able to remove this part of the shaft easily if need be for some reason. I did find out that my steering column was going to be just a little tight to slide over the set screws. So I did grind the set screws down just a little bit. Now it's going to be just perfect. So I'm getting real close to having this part done. I'm going to see what I want to do here for a bolt. And then what I will do is, once I get this all put into place and this column bolted on, and I know exactly where this bolt's going to be, I will drill me a couple of holes in the column. That way I can turn the wheel and be able to get to the bolt that's holding that on if need be. I think for now that's it. A little drill press did good. It kind of just actually the perfect size for that little job. Again, it's a Harbor Freight central machinery. Nice little job. It's got a on-off switch. It's got a work light for on and off, and you can adjust what you need to. The table tilts, but pretty handy little job. All right, I'm gonna get back to that. Right, got the hole drilled all the way through this coupler. Went ahead and put a grade 5 bolt through it. Of course, had to ground the dang heads off a little bit for the steering column to fit over. But that's what we'll do next. Is, let's see here, the steering column will fit over all that. Hide every bit of that all up. And then it will bolt down here at the bottom. So let's get that done. And then we'll see about getting it put in the truck. Right. I've managed to get the steering column all mounted back into the truck. Steering wheel's back on. And other than the wiring for the electric power steering motor itself, and putting my turn signals and my fuel gauge back on. In here is pretty well done. Of course, I gotta give everything a coat of paint, but the actual manufacturing part here is pretty well done. Everything's solid as can be. And I've got out front here, now that I've got that all mounted in, I can try and determine, get my light out of the way here, try and determine what I'm going to do to connect. That's the shaft coming out of the truck for the electric power steering unit. This is the shaft for the gearbox on the truck. So now all I got to do is connect those two. I may have to do a little more clearancing on the firewall, but now I can order the piece to come here, and I wasn't 100% sure what it was going to look like out here, but actually it's not looking too bad. I will get this piece ordered, and like everything else, it may take a couple damn weeks or a month to get here, but yeah, we're getting closer. So I think that's where I'm going to end things for now. Like I said, I still need to get my turn signal switch mounted back on the column and get my gas gauge that mounts right here back on. Other than that, everything in here is solid. It's not going anywhere. So I get some more stuff together. I'll get back with you guys. Thanks.